Welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to make Vietnamese pho. And I believe most of you knows about what is pho because it's so worldwide popular now. Pho, it is a Vietnamese soup noodle which is prepared by using the beef bone, the beef itself, a group of specific spices with char, onion and ginger and simmer for long hours. So today I'm going to make it simple by using a slow cooker instead of waiting at the side of the stovetop for hours. Okay, with this short introduction, let's cut it short and let's go into the details right now. The first part of making pho is pretty simple. We only need two major ingredients, that is the beef bone and then the aromatics, that is ginger and onion. So let's deal with the onions and ginger. What I need is to char the onions and ginger to get a smoky flavor. To do that, cut the onions into half. And if I char these over the stovetop now, it will take a little time, and that's why I want to put it into the oven to dry it up first. Let's put them into the oven, 230 degrees for 15 minutes. While the onion is in the oven, let's get a pot of cold water. And I've already washed the bones and let the bone in. And make sure that the water is enough to submerge all the bones. Switch on the stove and let it bring to a boil. Now the water has already come to a boil. And the goal of this step is to remove as much impurity and any debris as possible from the bone. Look at all this. We need to remove all this as much as possible. And what I'm going to do next is to remove all the bones from this pot of water and then fill up the pot with fresh water. By doing so, the final pot of beef broth that we have will be clean and clear. Let's boil for another 5 minutes and I will then remove the bones from the water. Okay, let's remove the bone from the water and clean it over running water. In order to make things simple, I'm going to use a multi-cooker to do it. So this is the bone that I have already washed and put it into a pot. This is the pot for the multi-cooker and I will use the slow cook mode to cook it afterwards. Add sufficient water to ensure that the bones are fully submerged. Let's get back to the onions and ginger. I've put it in the oven for 15 minutes at 230 degrees Celsius. It is not charred yet, but it is definitely quite dry now. Therefore, I only need a very short while, perhaps less than a minute, to make it char and to develop the smoky flavor. And do the same for the ginger too. Traditionally, we do it over the charcoal, but since I do not have one, I use a stovetop, and before that, use the oven to dry it up first to speed up the process. Okay, that's exactly how it looks like. Now I remove the outer layer that is too charred, which I do not want. Then one quick rinse with some water. Put it into the cooker pot together with the bones. And I will set it to cook it overnight and even need to bother about it. Now I leave all the work to my slow cooker now and set it to slow cook for 6 hours and do a delay start for 4 hours so that it will start to cook before I sleep tonight. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow. Good morning. We have already slow cooked it overnight for about 6 hours and now we need to continue, and these are the ingredients I'm going to put it into the slow cooker. The beef that I have, I'm using beef brisket, and these are the spices that we need. cinnamon, star anise, coriander seeds, and fennel seeds. So it's already overnight. Let's take a look. So now I'm going to put the beef into it. Now you may wonder why I do not add it yesterday. That's the reason is because the beef doesn't require to cook for 6 hours or 8 hours. I'm going to cook it for another 2 hours. That should be sufficient. And then also the spices. I don't need to cook the spices for 8 hours neither. So let it put everything together and let's continue cooking for another 1.5 to 2 hours. It should be okay. While continue cooking the beef, we can take the time to prepare the noodles, that's the pho, and also some of the vegetables as the accompaniment or topping for the noodles. Various vegetables will be used to serve together with the beef, and I have chosen some of the common ones today. This is the basil, bean sprouts, coriander leaves, some onion, and a lime. And also prepare some beef slices, fresh beef slices to be cooked just before we serve the noodles. I'm using the dry one, so I need to rehydrate it. Bring a pot of water to a boil according to the instruction to cook it for about 5 to 6 minutes. Okay, it's already 5 minutes. Let me remove it from the water and drain in a colander. And then transfer it to a bowl. Add a little bit of oil to prevent it from sticking together. And then set it aside and I'm going to continue with others. Now let's get back to the broth. When it's done, I need to remove the beef brisket and also the bone from the broth. For the broth, I will let it pass through a strainer. This is a broth that after I pass it through the strainer, and now I heat it up again and I need to season it. So there are a few things I need to add. This is rock sugar and fish sauce, and also sufficient salt. Heat it up until the sugar and also the salt is dissolved and do a test. It's very flavorful. Okay, I'll bring it to a boil and add some more water because it's really concentrated. And I've just measured it. It is about 5 cups of broth now, 1.3 liters roughly. Switch it off. Next, blanch the raw beef for a short while and make sure that it is not overcooked. So now we have the taste of the raw beef and also the beef brisket that we have already slow cooked for about 2 hours. Different texture, different flavor. Okay. Finally, cut the beef brisket that is already cold into pieces. Arrange the beef brisket and the blanched sirloin on top of the noodles and then pour the hot broth over it. Then serve along with the vegetables as topping. To serve, add the vegetables as of your choice, the bean sprouts, basils, some onion if you wish, a bit more broth, and it's ready to serve. and the flavor, it is fantastic. And it's so distinct that one bite you will know that it is pho, there's nothing else. And if you want to get the recipe, right, I have included it in the description below the video and also at the end of this video for your reference. I hope you will try it out. Let me know the result and see whether it is better than the Vietnamese restaurant nearby you. And I hope I will hear from you, and let's share whatever ideas and whatever things that you think you can improve it. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.